Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the Veneno macro virus. Now, this virus is of course Spanish for poison or venom, which gives you a small hint of what might be expected from a virus called Veneno. Now, this is supposed to operate under Spanish versions of Microsoft Word in order to properly infect and spread, but I found that using English versions works just as well, because all the payloads are so tricky and complex to trigger that it's easier to just go into the macro window and run them all manually. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and run it. Get it opened up here in Word 97. And of course we need to get rid of Clippy. It took a little while to launch. That's because it's trying to open up all those macros and start running them and infecting the normal template so that it can spread and infect other Word documents. But of course that only works completely properly on Spanish versions of Microsoft Word. So it's just a blank file. There's nothing in it. There's no cool dummy text or anything that says this is a sacrificial goat file. So kind of boring in that regard. Thanks for the letdown, security researchers. Let's go check out what we got in macro. So we can see we have a whole bunch of macros. We've got stuff when files are opened, the save as menu, print preview. We've also got something that looks like it's going to drop something into autoexec.bat. Something to insert the virus, something to spread the virus maybe, I'm not sure. We're going to step into each of these and just take a look at what they do, and we're going to make them run even if their conditions aren't met. So let's just step into the first one. We'll hit edit. So we see it's disabling the option to disable the macros in the document, which will allow it to run once it saves that option. And the rest of this sets up the virus so that it can't properly run. Let's just start stepping in all of these. So here in our file save as macro, this is intercepting the file save as command. Whenever you save a new document with a new name, it'll insert all of its macros into it from the global template. If we scroll down, there's also a little blurb here that says if the seconds value is equal to 38, then it will display a message box. Let's see if we can get that to work. So we're going to say, instead of second, how about day? And what is today set to? Today is January 1st, 1999, apparently. Okay, let's try that. Just override it. Go for it. And run. Yeah, let's save it as Veneno 2. Hey, there we go, it worked. Now, you all know I'm pretty terrible at pronouncing things in any language that's not English, but I know a little bit of Spanish, enough to give a short translation or a rough translation of a friend desperately in search of Kelia Monica Salda. I love you, and I'm searching for you, where have you gone off to? Something along those lines. Love 9091. So it was maybe a love letter in this virus from 30 years ago. It's been quite a while. So we'll clear out of this. And that's just the first of many such payloads that we're going to try and walk through and alter so that we can actually see them happen. Because it's kind of annoying to open up a Word document and have it load exactly on the 30-second mark. Especially when doing file save as. It's these kind of conditions that come into play again and again with this virus. So let's do the next one. So on print. So nothing crazy in here. Let's see about print preview. Anything in here? Is it calling any other? We're going to insert Veneno. Is that in the other one too? I didn't notice. Yes, it is. So let's go look at insert Veneno. Oh, so when we print or print preview, we're actually inserting something into the Word document. So again, we're here if seconds is greater than 57 when the document is printed. Well, I can set the seconds, and then we can just run this macro. 56. We're going to say okay, and then we're going to go run. No. Where is it? Go. Did it work? No, I messed up. Let's try it again. Let's make this 55. No, hey, come on now. Alright, we got it on 55. Let's go. And then run, and then here. And we should see words. Why don't I see words? I see nothing. Well, you know what? We're just going to go to my trusty fallback. And instead of seconds, it's going to be day. And if it's greater than 0, which I hope the day value of the month is greater than 0, we should see this happen. And now let's run it. Hey, there we go. So every time you print a file, and you just happen to print it when the seconds value was greater than 57, this would be inserted at the very end of your document, which roughly translates to, finally, I would like to add the computer center of this university. We do not deserve this treatment. Shame on you. End of file. So maybe you're at this university, you get infected with this macro virus, and now every time you try to print anything, randomly you get this crap added on, and people think you hate the computer center, when in reality, it's just the virus author messing with you. You know, maybe the computer center doesn't like you because you're writing macro viruses to infect all of their Word documents with. It's just a theory. Anyway, let's move right along. Going back to our macro lists, let's check out this one. Is there anything in here that we can get to activate? So if this random value, we're setting some document variables here, and then we're calling Trinitron, the other macro in the list. So this one's more of a random value, it looks like. So Venenito, word basic dot value get document variable Venenito. So it's setting that variable from somewhere. I'm drawing a blank trying to read this here very early in the morning, but we're going to drop down to Trinitron. What does that do? Ah, here we go. So here we see some massive block of code. What this is a debug program. We can see we're running DOS debugger, and it looks like we'll need the DOS directory. So this is assuming you installed Windows, probably Windows 95 from DOS. So you upgraded DOS, installed Windows 95 on top of it. So I did not do that. This is Windows 98. So we're going to need to make a DOS folder. Yeah, sure. Make it proper case. I don't care. But anyway, there's nothing in it. We just made this. But we'll see if this actually works. When does this work? So we disable screen updating. We don't allow anybody to write anything. And if word basic the minute is not equal to 30, then we do not do anything. Go to no dropper. Where's no dropper? I'm not sure where no dropper. Here it is. So here we're doing another check. So if the day is not 30, but it is a Saturday or Sunday, it looks like, then we are inserting some text into the document. What day is this? Friday. So I'm going to do greater than 1. We're going to save. The minute's not equal to 30. It's actually, it almost was. If we had done this just a little bit ago, it would have been fine. So we're going to run it. Did that insert anything into it? Not that I see. I'm going to add some lines here. Let's see if that and, oh, let's do or. Now let's run it. Oh, where'd it go? What happened? Oh, it closed my document. Okay, let's close that, get out of here, get back into it. Which one was I? I was in the second one, right? Yeah. Oh, it added a password. That's not nice. Is it Veneno? Ah, crap. Well, that's not good. Alright, it should be Veneno with a capital V. Hey, alright, we're back in our document. So, this jerk of a virus set a password on it to stop this video from getting made. So let's get back into this. I want to see this dropper happen. It's not equal to 30. Then do nothing. I want it to do nothing and just run this right here. So let's run it. So here we can see the inserted text that was inserted, and then the password was so helpfully added onto our document. If we look in DOS, we can see this attrib.com application that was not here before. So this virus actually writes this application using debug to this directory. Now you might think this is the attribute program from DOS. However, the official one is an exe. It is not a .com file. So this is another virus. This is actually a DOS virus called GluePack, which activates on October 21st. We'll take a look at that soon, but let's get through Veneno first. Veneno, whatever. How about we look at the one called Travel? This effing macro was developed by me, Mexico City, 31st of December 1996. So updated in January on multiple days in 97. So that makes this virus just over 26 years old. And here we are in 2023 looking at it. How nice. We got some more comments in here. We're setting the word username to Veneno and the initials MX. We're copying the macros. So this is where it actually infects your template. If we don't exist, then auto execute. And then we're calling some of the other functions. Is there anything in here that we can check out? That's not just spreading the virus, because I want to see what the virus does. Alright, I think this is all just logic to make sure all the macros got copied. So let's take a look at Veneno. So we got the same comment here. So we've got some Spanish commented out. So if month now less than 6, day now greater than 26. We replace that with a function to get a random number, and we check the day and that random number to add something into autoexecute.bat. So let's alter that. Num's gonna be, let's see, what does it want num to be? Greater than 29. So num is now 99. Day is greater than 0, as always, because I like to make things as easy as possible. Run it. Let's go check out autoexecute.bat. Where is it? What happened to my file menu? Whatever. Let's make sure we can see everything. There we go, it's hidden. So edit. So here we see something new. Set the path, insert diskette in drive A, press any key to continue, and then it is formatting whatever we put in automatically with no option to say yes or no. I want to format it, just does it. And then if it fails, it looks like it's going to try to format the D and C drives and tell you in so many words that things are not good and your mommy should be very happy of having such a good, obedient kid. Haha. Asswipe. Well said. You should never be running random crap like this. Unless you're at this university where all the computers are infected, which I'm assuming is what happened, which is why he didn't like the computer lab staff. But anyway, I'm going off on a wild tangent here. I don't actually know. Now there is another payload somewhere in here where it pops up a message box basically with that shame on you text, the same one that it adds when you print. I'm not going to go through here to find that and make it happen. I'd like to take a look at GluePack really quick. So, oh, we have another batch file here. What is this? Oh, this looks like what's, oh, what is this? This is different. Looks like we're copying a bitmap. We're printing a picture. Mexico, December 96. Same stuff that we're adding to autoexecute.bat. So this is something I actually have not seen before. So it looks like we're trying to make a few other files, but I don't see any of those. What happens if I run this? File not found. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. I feel like I'm just kind of blathering on and on with this video anyway, so I'm going to run glupack here. Looks like nothing happens, but as I said, I kind of stepped through the disassembly a little bit and found out that October 21st, I believe, yes, is the day to go to. We'll run it one more time, and we get this nice old school pop-up saying, old disk utility write error, you are using a disk utility designed for an older version of MS-DOS or Windows. Your files may be damaged if the utility writes to the disk. To run it but prevent it from writing to your disk, click yes. To stop the utility, click no. So I'm going to say yes, sure, why not? And we get the message box, happy birthday, Freaky. And nothing happens. So what it's trying to do, from what I saw in the disassembly, is it's trying to directly write to the first 666 sectors of your hard disk with garbage data. Now, I've never actually seen this work, and we're going to go try this on DOS after this virus is finished, but that is what it's intending to do. So we're going to go ahead and restart and take a look at this formatting payload. Let me find a disk with something on it real quick. Alright, I added a disk to the drive, and there's nothing on it, so I'm just going to copy the virus to it. Because if it's going to format my disk, I want it to just delete itself. Perfect. Okay, let's restart and see what happens. Alright, so following file is missing or corrupted command.com. I believe that's just because the DOS directory now exists and it's trying to boot from it. And we see insert a diskette into drive A, press any key to continue, go ahead. Now we can hear the virus chugging along. And we very briefly saw the message about how your mommy should be proud, but it did not pause after that to give us time to read it. I think you can hit escape, right? Yep, there it is. So there is the message. So we are officially a good/obedient kid. We're going to try this one more time once Windows boots up. We're just going to restart and see what happens if we don't have a disk in the drive. Okay. Go ahead and log into Windows. And then we'll immediately restart again. Alright, so no disk in the drive this time. We'll hit enter. And we still see here, your mom should be very proud, very happy, and does not successfully get to the condition where it actually just formats the drive. So Veneno fails in that regard, does not wipe your drive, does not actually activate the virus that it drops to directly write sectors to your hard disk. So all in all, it's fairly well written for what it is. Does a lot of stuff, but doesn't quite get us all the way there. So let's check out this glupack virus on DOS and end this video off. Okay, we are over here on the Packard Bell Legend 316SX, as always when we're running MS-DOS. And real quick, we'll look at the real attrib file. So that's here in the actual DOS directory. It is an exe executable. And when you run it, you can see the various attributes, hidden system files of various programs, DLLs, pretty much anything in the folder. You can set it to be hidden or whatever you like. Now we have our malicious file here in the root. So this is the file that Veneno wrote and then dropped with debug. So we're going to run it and see what happens. And I'm actually going to copy this to the DOS directory. And now when we run a trib, you could hear it going through the drive, infecting some files. I'm not sure if it infects both exe and com files or just com files, but the way DOS works is that if you have two files of the same exact name, but one is .exe and one is .com, the .com takes precedence. So in this case, typing just a trib causes the virus to run. So this is GluePack, the virus dropped by Veneno. Let's look at graphics.com. And that is clearly infected because graphics is supposed to be 19,742 bytes, but it is now 20,589. How about sys? So that's also infected, so it looks like it's gone through and found all COM files in the current directory. Now power looks like it hasn't been touched, so this looks like it's only infecting .com files. So we know this activates on October 21st. Change the day, and Windows complained about this and would not let it run. Let's try this. We hear some disk writing activity, and we see the message, "Happy birthday, Freaky." And the computer's now frozen. Yep, it's frozen, it's locked out, hard locked. So we'll Control-Alt-Delete and restart. So, despite overwriting, or at least attempting to overwrite the first 666 sectors on the hard drive, it appears that DOS is still intact and bootable. So I'm thinking this version of GluePack either messed something up, or maybe specified the wrong drive. I've heard of some viruses attempting to target drive 2. So when you think of drives on the DOS PC, you've got drive 0, which is A, drive 1, which is B, and then some will target drive 2, which winds up being a third floppy drive instead of the fixed disk. So maybe that was the problem here? I don't know. I'm not an expert disassembler. I cannot reverse engineer malware very well to save my life. Like, the most I can do is step into it, find some dates and times that it might activate. If there's very simple encryption, I can usually reverse engineer it and take a look at what's going on, but I am not an expert, so I don't know. This is just me theorizing. If we step into it, let's just print a few lines from the virus. So I'm just going to display some lines because I did see some interesting comments in here when I was just sort of messing around before recording. And we can see here it calls itself Suicidal Dream. Copyright 96, the freak / the underground from the hypnotic specter of wake. I scream locked in the depths of a suicidal dream. Now, I did not have the foresight to Google where this comes from beforehand, so if any of you know, please feel free to step up onto the podium, take your time to shine, and let us know where this comes from. Sounds pretty familiar, but then again, I really don't know. So that is about it for GluePack. It failed to format the drive or overwrite the first 666 sectors. And that is about it for the Veneno macro virus, which also failed to format the drive on Windows 98. And before anybody asks or leaves a comment, yes, I have tested it on Windows 95 because it was written in 1996 and 97. I have done it on 95. The behavior is the same. Windows does not let it write to the disk. At least the GluePack virus portion, and the format does not work. Just thought I'd clear that up before somebody thinks I did something completely wrong and ruined the whole video. So that is about it for the Veneno macro virus. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.